Okay. I have a little bit of experience, and like I said, I'm only 21, so I'm your token millennial. I heard PeopleSoft earlier, got you beat. I've got Oracle EBS, Oracle Taleo, Oracle Fusion, Oracle PeopleSoft. It's now Oracle PeopleSoft. And I've got SAP SuccessFactors HR under my belt. So I've seen a lot of change in the industry. And these lights, my glasses, if they tint down, it's because of the lights, because when I go outside, they tint, okay? We're going to walk you through some payroll, new ways of doing things. Something that's very unusual about the workforce. People work, and for some reason, they want to get paid for it. I don't understand that, but they do. And when I worked in HR and I ran my own HR departments, I never wanted to deal with payroll because I thought, why would I deal with that if I could pay someone else to do it for me, right? Well, things have changed. I'm logged in as Shane. I do that every time. We're going to change his name. His name is Shane Creedon. He's our payroll administrator. And we're going to take you to what I call your one-stop shopping. Has anybody in here not seen SuccessFactors before? What you see on the screen is the login screen for SuccessFactors. So I just want to point out, see the flag in the background? And I'm a functional person, so I'm not technical. So I can configure everything in this system. It is not like PeopleSoft. It's not like EBS. It is not like Taleo. I can configure this system, and I do not have to go to a technical person to do that. So I put that flag in the background to match Andy's jacket, the inside of his jacket, see? So it had to match his jacket. Okay, but I wanted you to know, before we go into the payroll, everything on that screen I can change. You can, as an organization, can change the background, the logo, what's pushed to the screen, because based on the role and your permissions is what I can do as a user. Me as a user, I can personalize that screen, and I do not have to go to a technical person to do that. Think of the days that you wanted to add a field to the system and you gave it to your technical people. 6 months down the road, they came back. They said, I'm sorry, we can't put it in. We had other priorities. I don't have to do that anymore. And I can add as many fields to this system as I need to. Okay? So let's go into payroll. And everything on this screen is live. So every one of those tiles is live, so I don't have to use a menu structure like I used to have to do in payroll, assuming I'm still connected to the internet. Yes, there we go. So we give you, and we're not going into the weeds because this is just an overview, we give you what we call one-stop shopping for payroll. So everything's done in what we call the Payroll Control Center. Everything you see on this screen I can change. As you see on the screen, I have, and here's more technology here, I like this technology. Well, it's not supposed to affect my screen that way. Let's see, here we go. There we go. Now see, I can point this anywhere. I can point it to the screen. I can point it to the computer. I have I'm very digital. Jason mentioned digital. I'm very digital. I have 4 items on the 4 processes defined in the payroll system. You can have 15 processes. You can have 30 processes. Whatever your business process is, it's all done through configuration. The very first process I have is what we call the payroll. Pre-payroll, so I can run a pre-payroll. I can identify the issues that I want the payroll to find, whether it's someone not having a bank account, not having the appropriate taxes, that type of thing, and the system will go out and find that. So I have 3 steps identified here. I can generate a simulated payroll. I can initiate the process for policies, so those are the policies you've defined that it's going to look for in the system, and then I have monitoring. The system will automatically come back and identify errors that it finds. Now, this is a true story. GAO did a report in 2013. DFAS, which I'm sure everybody's familiar with DFAS, in 1 year had 360,000 payroll errors. Now, how would you like, if you worked in payroll, how would you like to correct those errors or find those errors, right? Our system gives you that back. So I don't have 360,000, I have 8. So I can go in and look at those individually. I can see that they're assigned to a payroll administrator, or I can take and change that and assign it to someone else directly from the screen. No matter where you are in the system today, you can take action. You do not have to go back to a main menu structure. Now, I've identified these errors. So I can actually go in and I can drill down into those errors by looking at the alerts. So I have 8 employee errors. It will immediately tell me the employees or where the errors are located. I go into David Smith. It gives me a solution. It says I need to correct the individual's pay information. I select that link, and it takes me directly into that employee record so that I can make that correction. Did you hear me hit that microphone? Did you hear that? It happens all the time when I'm on Broadway. I always hit that mic all the time, all the time. So anyway, that gives you an idea of what you can actually do when you're identifying the actual payroll errors up front, which is kind of what we want to do at the beginning. I have to bring back my top bar, and then I'll get rid of it again. Now, the next step in our processes that are defined is you're running your actual payroll production. Now, I will still show 8 errors in mine because I haven't corrected any of them, so it still shows up. So I can run a payroll at the beginning, then I run the actual payroll, post-simulation, initiate the processes again, and then monitoring, and then end the actual payroll. Again, this is all configuration. Your business processes may be different, so they configure to your business processes. You do not have to change your business processes to use SuccessFactors. The next step that I have identified is pay stubs, your earnings and leave statements. So I can create them, I can print them, and you can determine how many you want available online when the individual goes to the employee record. SAP, because we actually use our own software at SAP, we actually have, I think it's unlimited number of hours that's actually stored. The next step is what we call create your pre-DME. DME is what SAP calls data medium exchange. That's the data that's going to be sent to Treasury so that you get your pay. Then we actually create the file, then we send that file. Then the last step that I have defined, again, everything is configuration, is posting it to your accounting system. So we create a pre-posting so you can check it to make sure that everything's fine. Then we released it for posting, and then we actually transfer it. Now, we are hoping that you're using SAP's finance for your system. If you are not, we don't care. We've been in business for 40 years. We've been processing payroll for 40 years. There is not a financial system out there that we have not integrated with. And if we haven't integrated with one that you just happen to have that we've never heard of, then we create an API to interface with that. Now, all of this, like I said, is configuration. All of this is a new way of doing things. And this rolls out in what, I don't know if you've mentioned actual new pay, yes, which is the federal government. And we were selected with another organization. And so we will be moving forward with that. And with that, I would turn it back over to Andy. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Oh, can you hear me now?
There you go.
There we go. All of a sudden you can hear me. So, you know, you're showing a one-stop shop place, a single IV, if you will, as Jason was talking about, right? One place to go, not having to go around, one interface, something that's adaptable for an user experience to the person so that it's repeatable, friendly, and going forward, right?
Correct.
And doing that at a scale and at a price point that saves the government millions of dollars. Hundreds of millions of dollars at the end of the day.
When I did my time during the federal government time, it sounds like prison term, didn't it? But when I worked for the CIA, believe it or not, 14 years at CIA. And we'll talk about that when we go into looking at the actual core HR product. We did everything by pen and paper. And I demoed to the federal government for a long time. It's been for 19 years, federal government. So a lot of processes are still done by pen and paper, including some agencies actually do some of their payroll pen and paper. So this actually opens that whole process up that Jason mentioned. It gives you that digital process of where you can actually process the whole payroll and then frees up your payroll administrators and your other individuals in payroll so that they can do other activities or be more proactive within the organization. It's a totally different way of doing things. We find that talking to the federal government, daily.
Yep.
We were seeing a lot of excitement because technology, I think, has finally caught up with what everybody would like to do.
Great. Thank you, David.
Sure.